Hey y'all. Let me know in the chat if y'all can hear me. Let me know, let me know, let me know. Hey everybody. We are about to get started real soon. Really soon we are gonna get started. Hey everybody. Let me see. Hey y'all. We are going to get really We're about to get started real soon, everybody, and I'm so excited. Super excited. Make sure y'all go ahead and write down any vendor inventory related questions. Write them down now so you don't forget. And we are going to get started in a little bit. Just giving everybody a chance to go ahead and join in. I'm going to do one little final post on Instagram. Let everybody know that we are live. Yeah, I am super excited, y'all. So it is about to be really lit. Super lit. We are almost live. I'm super excited. Let me know how everyone's day was. Go ahead and leave that down below in the chat. Let me know how your day was today. I had a very busy day, so I know somebody else did too. So put that down below in the chat. How was y'all's day today? Thank you. Pretty productive day, really busy day working. That is always good. We're about to go ahead and get started soon for everybody joining in. When you go ahead and you want to see everybody's comments, make sure you go ahead and choose all panelists and attendees. If you just put all panelists, it's just only going to send to me. So make sure you guys go ahead and put all panelists and attendees, and then everybody can see it. So a lot of y'all are just sending me stuff. So a lot of y'all, it literally all says all panelists. So make sure it says all panelists and attendees, and then everybody will be able to see each other's comments and everything. Narelle said, me and my sis had a girly relaxed Sunday. We had brunch at home. That sounds perfect. That sounds so good. I wish I could have did that today, but y'all, I literally been running around all day. I filmed a day in the life video, so that should be interesting. Y'all know I don't really vlog like that, so it is going to be very interesting. Good evening, everybody that is joining in. Let me check my DMs to make sure nobody had any trouble with the login or anything like that. All right. All righty. Hey, everybody. Hey. We are still going to wait for a couple more people to go ahead and join in. But before we go ahead and get started, I'm just going to go ahead and pull up my notes. So where is everybody from? Go ahead and leave your location in the comments. I really want to know where everybody is from. So go ahead and rep your city, rep your country, rep your state. Go ahead and let me know in the comments where you guys are tuning in from. All right, so we got Massachusetts, we got Houston, we got Jamaica, Kansas. Okay. We got Cincinnati, Barbados. What? We have Columbia, we have North Carolina, Philly. We got Alabama, Columbus, Ohio. Okay, Philly, Antigua. Okay, we got Virginia. All right, we got a little bit of everybody in here. I'm going to go live on the Facebook page just because a lot of people was not able to go through and register for the webinar. So I'm going to go live on Facebook. I mean on Instagram, not Facebook. And we're just going to go live with it for a little bit, and then we probably going to cut it off. But yeah, thank you everybody for going ahead and joining in. Let's see if this works, y'all. Technology is not my best friend sometimes. Okay, we got Virginia, we got Texas. Let me know where y'all from in the comments. Is this even working? Y'all, anybody else Instagram been giving them trouble? Because mine has definitely been tripping lately. Definitely. Bronx, New York. Okay. Hey. So we are going to wait just about a few more minutes and we are going to hop right on in. I am literally giving y'all the tea as to how to find vendors. A lot of you guys have definitely been in my DMs, in the comment section, really just trying to get more information about vendors. So I'm super excited to come on here and give you guys some more insight on how to get some vendors. So I am live on Instagram and then we have the webinar going right now. I don't know if I'm gonna stay live on Instagram the whole time because the replay for this will be on my YouTube channel. So go ahead and make sure if you guys are on live on Instagram, go ahead and share this with a friend who might need it. So that way we are going ahead and sharing all of this good information. So we are about to get started in a little bit. Y'all on Instagram, let me know where y'all are tuning in from. Let me know. Is this via Zoom? Yes, this is via Zoom. However, the link was completely sold out. We don't have any more seats available on the Instagram. On the webinar. She said I did not receive a link. Check your spam or something like that, but I resent it out as soon as you were as soon as you registered for it, it went ahead and sent out as well. So you got the link as well on your email, and then I resent it out this morning as well too. So we got Alabama, we got Dallas, we got Chicago. Hey everybody. Hey. So we are actually gonna go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna start sharing my screen with y'all. Let me know in the comments when y'all can see my screen. Unfortunately, everybody tuning in on the Instagram, I won't be able to share my screen with y'all, but the replay will be available on YouTube. So we are recording right now, and the replay will be available on YouTube. So that is lit. All right, so let me know when y'all can see my screen, everybody who is tuned in on the everybody who is tuned in on the Zoom. You all can see it. I just took it down. So let me move my notes over here so that way I can see what y'all are saying. Ooh, technical difficulties, right? Okay, perfect. I wonder if I click, okay, perfect. Alrighty, so y'all can see the notes, right? I'm gonna go ahead and move y'all down here, and we're about to go ahead and get started. Perfect. Okay, you got it. Perfect. How to get on the Zoom. So if you registered on the webinar, for the webinar, you were able to get a link. The link has been completely sold out. So I know there's only, I can't see how many people are on here because I have this up, but there is only probably under 50 people in here right now, and it was sent to 100 people. So I can't resend the link, but you guys are more than welcome to tune in on the live, and then this will also be recorded as well. So we are about to go ahead and get started, and then I probably won't stay on here on live the entire time, just because I want to give everybody my undivided attention on the Zoom, and then the Zoom also will be available on YouTube. If you guys are having trouble with the link, I am so sorry. I sent it out twice, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but go ahead and check your spam and all that good stuff. So we're about to go ahead and get started, y'all. So this is the vendors crash course. In this crash course, you guys are going to be learning the basics as to how to find vendors, how to communicate with vendors, and how to shop with vendors, y'all. Literally, vendors is pretty much the gist of all of the questions that I get, no matter what, is how to go ahead and find vendors. So that is definitely what this training is going to be about. So guys, first things first, some housekeeping, right? Go ahead and save all of your questions to the end. If you guys have any questions you hear on Zoom, go ahead and put them in the Q&A section. So that way after we finish the training and everything, we can go through and I can go through and answer some questions. But please be mindful that this questionnaire at the end of the training will be for webinar and inventory related questions only. If you guys have any additional questions, make sure you go through and send that to me via DM or send it to me via email. Email is going to be the fastest way to get in communication with me. I literally have like 80 unread DMs. So go through and send me an email so that way I can go through and do that. Next thing, make sure you guys go ahead and close out all tabs on your computer. We want to get rid of any distractions during this training because literally, y'all, if you come here and you've watched any of my YouTube videos, you know I give y'all the tea on everything. So make sure you go ahead and get rid of any distractions because it is about to go down. So let's go ahead and hop right on into the presentation. All right. So a little bit about me. My name is TROYIA Monaye. Monaye is my middle name. I am a YouTuber. I am a boutique owner, business coach, content creator, and all-around boss bae. I give female-owned and operated businesses the tools that they need to reach their goals. So I am a graduate of the Florida A&M University, go Rattlers. So I have a bachelor's of science in public relations, and I've worked with numerous companies spreading the word, spreading their messaging and their marketing efforts. So some of the companies that I've worked for in the past have been DoorDash, I've worked with Modsy, I worked with GE Lighting, and a bunch of other companies as well. So that is super exciting. And thank you guys so much for all the love and support on my YouTube channel. We have now almost reached 30,000 subscribers, and we're at 9 million impressions, y'all. So thank y'all so much for literally all the love, all the support. Literally would not be here without y'all. So thank you. If you guys have any questions, like I said, and if you're joining in just now, go ahead and leave that in the Q&A section. So during this training, you guys will be learning what to do before looking for vendors, what to do during the process of looking for vendors, and what to do after you go ahead and you're in the process of looking for vendors. So you'll know what to do before, during, and after the process of looking for vendors. So yeah. So before you begin looking for vendors, this is definitely the most crucial step in the search process. This is the search process is definitely the most crucial process of looking for vendors, right? So before you begin looking for vendors, there is a step-by-step process that you need to go through and make sure you cross all your T's, dot all your I's before you jump right on in, right? So you need to make sure you have your legals together. So whether that be your EIN number, whether that be your resale certificate. So we're going to discuss that. What is it? Why is it important? We're also going to talk about target audience. And if y'all watch any of my videos or anything like that, you know I talk about target audience all the time. It is super important to know who you are communicating with and who are you purchasing inventory for, right? So that is super important. Next thing is creating a budget. You have to know how much you are spending on inventory, right? So that is very important as well. Manufacturers, distributors, right? You need to know who produces the inventory and who sells it. And that is very important. We'll get into that as well during the remainder of this session. So resales permit, right? What is it? So your resales permit grants your business permission to buy items at wholesale rates. So without your resale certificate, you are pretty much selling inventory kind of illegally. So when you have your resale certificate, you are buying inventory from wholesalers non-taxed for resale purposes only, right? So that is super important to keep that in mind. Usually resale certificates are free, but they do cost depending state by state. Also, the name of resale certificate or resale permit varies state by state. So I know I get a lot of comments like on my DMs and things like that. And everybody's like, I don't know how to find my resale certificate. I don't know where to locate it, blah, 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 right? But one thing you have to keep in mind is that the resale permit, resale certificate is called something different in pretty much not every state, but it is called something different. So it is really recommended that you contact your local Department of Revenue or your tax office to clarify the name and state by state rules and regulations. So why is it important? Your resale certificate grants you access to thousands of vendors and marketplaces. So without it, you are pretty much really limited to the amount of vendors that you can access. So it's really important that you go ahead and get that resale certificate. I know I've gotten a lot of comments from people who are out of the country and different things like that when it comes to them accessing their resale certificate. So I know that I've gotten that quite a bit of time. So if you are caught selling merchandise without your resale certificate or without a resale permit, you can definitely be prosecuted. So definitely keep that in mind, guys. So important things to know about your resale certificate. Once you have registered your business and you've signed up for a resale certificate, you must begin paying taxes. And this is super important because you need to know this information so that way you can go ahead and cross all your T's, dot all your I's, and make sure all of your legals are handled on the back end. Also, by registering for a resale certificate, you are telling your state that you are a tax-paying business. So that is very important as well. You must start paying and filing taxes each quarter, and this depends state by state. Also, some vendors will request a EIN number. Some vendors will request your resale certificate business partner number. It really just depends on the vendor, but for the most part, they are supposed to be requesting some type of information from you in order for you to go ahead and shop with them. All righty, so target audience. Y'all know this would not be a coaching session or a video or anything without me having to talk about target audience. I talk about it all day, every day. And the reason I talk about it is it's super important. So who are you targeting, right? Your target audience is a group of people identified as being likely a customer of your business, right? These are the people you are communicating with. These are the people you are putting all of your marketing efforts towards. So you have to know who you are communicating with at all times, so that way you aren't shooting blank shots. And when you shoot blank shots, you don't make sales. And when you don't make sales, you're not happy. And it's just a slippery slope of unfortunate events. So make sure you know who you are communicating with. So who are you buying for, right? You need to know your audience. This helps you choose inventory that correlates with their overall style and their overall traits. You need to know who you are buying inventory for. Pro tip. Go ahead and create an outline of the different type of looks and the different type of styles that your audience will be interested in. So whether that be loungewear, dresses, two-piece sets, etc., you need to know who you're shopping for, and you need to know what you're shopping for before you begin your search, right? So for example, you go into the grocery store all the time, right? And you go in there without a list. Then that means you're going to leave with more than you intended to get. So that is something super important that you guys go ahead and realize is you need to go and have some type of outline, some type of list as to what you're looking for. So that way you don't go in there and you're not shopping blind. Trust me, it can happen. I get super overwhelmed looking at vendors now. So I definitely can understand you guys who are just starting out. Looking for vendors can be very, very overwhelming. So make sure you guys go ahead and create a list as to the different things that you are looking for when it comes to shopping with vendors. Create a budget. You need to know how much inventory you can afford. You need to know how many styles you're shopping for. And then you also don't need to forget to set money aside for shipping costs. That's definitely something a lot of us do. We figure out how much inventory we can afford and we have our budget for it. Is it okay if I screenshot this while taking notes? Of course, definitely. I actually recommend that. Make sure you guys go ahead and screenshot this, write down your notes and all that good stuff for sure. But yes, definitely don't forget to have funds set aside for shipping, because you can go in and you can choose all your inventory all day and then you see the shipping cost and you're like, wait, whoa. So make sure you guys go ahead and create a shipping budget as well. Also, you need to know your profit margin. So you need to know how much money you are wanting to make, right? So that is very important as well. Next slide is manufacturers versus distributors. So this is important as well. I don't hear too many people talk about manufacturers versus distributors. And this is definitely something a lot of you guys need to know before you guys go ahead and shop with a lot of these vendors. So you need to know that a manufacturer designs products and produces the product. The manufacturer also sells the product at the lowest cost. Manufacturers also focus on creating the product rather than selling the product. Also, manufacturers can also be a distributor. So that's definitely something super important to know as well. Also, distributors. So distributors are the ones who buy the product from the manufacturer. Usually distributors have a strong relationship with their manufacturers as well. They buy very, very large bulks of inventory. And then they sell that inventory to retailers or directly to consumers. So us as boutique owners and us as retailers, we get the lower end of the bargain sometimes, right? So if the supplier is producing the product, they have to sell it then to the distributor. So let's say I'm selling this jacket, for example, and I'm the supplier. So I might sell this jacket to a distributor for $10 a piece, right? So if I'm selling this for $10 a piece, then the distributor gets it. The distributor then has to mark it up in order for them to make a profit to sell it to me. So this jacket right here could be $10 straight from the supplier. And then when the distributor gets it, they can mark it up to maybe $15 so that way they can get a $5 profit on everything. And then they sell it to me, who is the retailer. So then when I get the product, I then have to go through and mark it up again. So it's really important to know that your inventory literally goes through 3 to 4 even rounds of pricing. So it's really important that you guys go ahead and realize that as well. So make sure you guys go ahead and know the difference between the manufacturer versus the distributor. As a boutique owner, we need to know the importance of this, because usually you can go ahead and shop with a manufacturer who is going to offer that product to you at the lowest rate. So make sure when you guys go through and you're shopping with your vendors that you know whether that vendor is a manufacturer or if that vendor is a distributor. So make sure you guys go ahead and do that as well. Pro tip. I just said this, but always buy directly from the manufacturer if you can. The manufacturer will always have the lowest rates. Distributors are also trying to make a profit, so they will indeed increase the prices of that inventory. So if you guys are shopping on Fashion Go, or if you guys are shopping on LA Showroom, it usually tells you whether that vendor is the manufacturer or whether that vendor is the distributor. So that is something really important to go through and to note. So that way you are knowing whether or not you are purchasing that piece of inventory at the lowest rate possible. So make sure you guys go ahead and shop with manufacturers if you can. Sometimes it's hard to find the actual manufacturer of that item. And sometimes you have to go through and shop with the distributor. And sometimes the distributors actually have, decent pricing as well. So make sure you guys go ahead and take that into consideration. So during the process of looking for vendors, so this is the juicy part, the part that you guys have all been waiting for, is how to find vendors that are fit for your business. Definitely. Okay. So finding vendors that are a fit for your business, you need to take into consideration 5 different things, 5 different steps, and 5 different ways that you guys can go through and find vendors. So you can find vendors through wholesale marketplaces. They're basically a department store vendors. Google search. So Google is indeed your best friend. Instagram these days is a search engine. We'll get more so into that as well. You guys can definitely use Alibaba. We'll talk about that and how to find trusted vendors on Alibaba. And then vendor lists for those who want instant knowledge. I know some of you guys don't have the time, the energy, or the patience to go through and look for vendors. So a lot of you guys might be interested in purchasing a vendor list. So we'll talk about vendor lists as well. Wholesale marketplaces. All righty. So what is a wholesale marketplace? A wholesale marketplace is a platform where vendors come together. They sell products. It could be online. It could be in person. And many wholesale marketplaces sell clothing. They sell apparel. They sell shoes, handbag, jewelry, the whole 9, right? So many different products. So where can I find a wholesale marketplace? So you can go to a local fashion district. There's a fashion district in LA, New York, Atlanta, Miami, etc. There's fashion districts pretty much maybe in every state. So you definitely just have to do your research there so that way you can figure out where those wholesalers are located. Also, you guys can go on wholesale market websites, which is online. So that's going to be Fashion Go, LA Showroom, Orange Shine, Alibaba. So definitely check those out as well. So Fashion Go. So Fashion Go is the leading online wholesale marketplace with the largest selection of wholesale retailers, right? So you guys can definitely go on Fashion Go. That is usually where I get pretty much all of my inventory because vendors have to go through a step-by-step, how do I explain this? A step-by-step test to see if they are credible enough to be a vendor on Fashion Go. So usually vendors on Fashion Go are going to be trusted. So you can go on there and you can search through different vendors. And for the most part, all of those vendors are going to be highly, highly credible. So that is very important for you guys to know as well. I get questions all the time as to, well, I don't know if this vendor is good on Fashion Go. I don't know. You guys can read the reviews. Feel free to reach out to some of these vendors, contact them through WhatsApp and just say, hey, I'm really interested in this piece of clothing. I wanted to get some additional insight on it. Vendors want to make money just like we want to make money, right? So they are going to be there and they are going to be there to provide that customer service to us to make sure that we have everything that we need to do to make sure that we are good to go when it comes to purchasing any type of inventory. So Fashion Go is definitely going to be the leading place for you to go through and find vendors. Fashion Go is definitely going to be the #1 place for you guys to go through and find vendors as well. All righty. Google search, right? So Google search is definitely a really, really great way for you guys to go through and find vendors. I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen and we are going to find some vendors together using Google. So definitely go through and use some of these keywords when you guys are shopping for vendors, right? Go through and type in wholesale clothing make sure you guys go through and use the quotation marks at the end because then it's going to pull exactly what you want. When you go through and you just do a Google search without the quotations at the end, Google is going to still pull up those things, but it's going to be more of a specific search when you go through and use those quotation marks at the end. So you can do wholesale clothing, you can do wholesale fashion clothing, wholesale fashion vendors, wholesale handbags wholesale, wholesale marketplaces, and different things like that. So I am going to stop sharing my screen and we are going to go through and find some vendors, okay? So I'm gonna go here and I am going to type in wholesale clothing vendors. Alrighty, so as soon as I type that in, boom, I'm getting a bunch of different results, right? So I'm seeing some, let's see. All right. Okay, so I'm seeing one right here called rosefancy.com. This is looking like, this is giving me Alibaba vibes. So we're going to click off of that one. And we're just going to continue to search. So one thing that I will say about finding vendors this route is it is going to be a lot more difficult, right? You are going to spend a lot more time searching through vendors when you do it this way. Definitely. It's going to take a lot more time. So without the quotation marks, we are getting some additional results as well. So you have Tasha Apparel. I'm pretty sure you guys have probably heard about them before. I believe they are a Chinese-based vendor, but I haven't heard too many things about them. So you guys can go in here, check them out, and see some of the different vendors and inventory that they have here. So definitely go through and do that. Another vendor that I've shopped with a bunch of times is Parisian Wholesale. They have a bunch of different clothing options on here. So make sure you guys go ahead and check them out. 5% off denim. What am I going to do with 5%? Like, what? Yeah, they have to be kidding. But Parisian Wholesale is definitely another vendor that you guys can go through and shop with. One thing I will say about Parisian Wholesale, though, is they are UK based, so their sizes run really, really small. But if you are, going after a petite audience, this will be actually really, really good for you. So I would definitely shop with Parisian Wholesale if you are trying to market towards petite women. What else do they have on here? Wholesale Central. I've never heard of them. So you guys can definitely just go on here, go on Google and just do some random searches. So this just looks like another search engine for vendors. So definitely play around with Google to see some of the different things that you guys can find there. So hopping right back into the slideshow. Definitely do some Google searches. One thing I will recommend as well is to look on Google Maps. You will actually be really surprised as to some of the vendors that are near you. So I live in Tampa, Florida, and I actually found 2 vendors who are located in Tampa. So I was able to, write down that information, and maybe one day I can visit their showroom, or maybe one day I can call them up and say, hey, I'm interested in buying wholesale from you. Can I come to your showroom and can I check out what you have? Or can you go through and grant me access to your website? So you guys will be really, really surprised as to some of the vendors who are actually near you. So make sure you guys go ahead and do those Google searches. So my favorite way to finding vendors is through Instagram. Believe it or not, Instagram, if you guys have signed up for a coaching session with me, you guys know that I always stress the importance that Instagram is more so of a search engine than it is a social media platform. Literally, people go on Instagram to search things all day long. Literally all day long. How many times have you guys gone on Instagram and did hashtag Atlanta hairstylist or hashtag whatever city you're in hairstylist, or if you're looking for a nail tech, or if you're looking for a lash tech, or if you are looking for a clothing vendor? You guys go on Instagram pretty much faster than you guys go on Google sometimes. So it is very important to realize that these days, Instagram is more so of a search engine than it is a social media platform. So this is my favorite way to find vendors because there's so many different tips and tricks that you guys can go through and use, right? So you can use hashtags and you can use those same keywords that we talked about with Google. You guys can use those with Instagram. You can filter through the followers of your favorite vendor account. So this is kind of snooping a little bit, and it's a little being a spy a little bit. It's a little sneaky, but I do it all the time, and I find great vendors that way. And we are going to go through and do that as well. So you can filter through the followers of your favorite wholesale marketplaces. If you guys follow any boutiques, go through their followers. Usually, sometimes those boutiques are following their vendors. So if you notice that, hey, I really like this boutique style of clothing, let me go through her followers to see if she follows her vendor. And that is a great way that you guys can go through and find some vendors. So I am going to stop sharing my screen, and we're about to go on Instagram, and we're about to find some vendors on Instagram, right? So make sure you guys, if you aren't already following at her Hustle Academy, and we are going to go through and find some vendors. So the first keyword that I am going to use when I find vendors is I'm going to do hashtag wholesale, if I can spell it right, clothing. Just something simple, something basic. Let's see what we find. There is over 1 million posts with this, so hopefully we find something good. All the good stuff might be down at the bottom, but we'll go through and see. So we are going to go through and press this pair of jeans right here, right? Boom. So I'm seeing these pair of jeans. These jeans are cute. We are going to just click the name of the account. And right here, wholesale available. Boom. Just that fast, we found a denim jean vendor, right? This is GJG Denim, and they are located in Los Angeles. One thing I will say is if you notice that a vendor is located in LA, that is usually a good thing because LA does have the largest fashion district. So most of the vendors are going to be located in LA. So this is right here, a jean vendor for you guys, GJG Denim. So you guys can definitely go through here, look at some of their denim, see if it's something, you know, that is acquainted with your target audience, and go through and shop with them if you guys think that that vendor is a fit for you. So that is definitely a way right there as to how you can go through and find a vendor for jeans. So let's keep on clicking. Let's see what else we find. Giddy Wholesale. Giddy is also a vendor. If you guys have never heard of Giddy, I will say that Giddy is a distributor. Giddy is not a manufacturer. So Giddy's prices are going to be a lot higher than shopping with a manufacturer. Giddy's prices are very high, but they do have really nice pieces of inventory. I will say that. So you guys can definitely go through here, see what Giddy has to offer. Sometimes you're able to, you know, snatch something that might not be that expensive, but for the most part, it is going to be a little bit pricey on Giddy. All right, let's see what else we can find. We're just going to go through and we're just going to click through to see what else we can find. So we are seeing one right here. This doesn't look like it's a wholesaler, but it looks like it's a boutique. So we are going to continue our search. Let's see what else we can find. Let's see. You usually can really point out vendors pretty good once you do get a hang of it. So right here, she has wholesale clothing, wholesale available. So that could be an option right here. Meetings. Not sure if you guys want to go through and shop with her and see what else she has to offer, but you guys are pretty much getting the gist as to what I mean by this. Go on Instagram, literally use any type of hashtag that you can think of, and I promise you that you are going to find some great vendors that way as well. Another hashtag that you guys can go through and use is type in wholesale, right? So if I come on Instagram and the only word I type in is wholesale, right here, I am getting a bunch of different results. Magia, I believe this is how you say it. They have a ton of inventory, and I've shopped with them a ton of times through Fashion Go. So this is definitely a vendor that you guys can go through and shop with as well on Fashion Go by the name of Magia. So definitely go through and check them out. Let me go back to the top and type in wholesale again. So if I just type in wholesale, right here, I'm seeing CC Wholesale Clothing. I'm seeing Mood Wholesale. I've heard of them before. I'm seeing Ivy Wholesale. I'm seeing a bunch of different wholesale vendors this way. So all you have to do when you are going through and finding wholesale vendors on Instagram is just type in wholesale and see what accounts pick up. So Maria Morena, I've definitely heard of them. They are located in Miami. They are a distributor. They are not a manufacturer. So their prices tend to be a little high as well, but they do have some really nice styles. So that is called Maria Morena Wholesale, and they are located in Miami. So you guys can definitely go through and check them out as well. So going back to the top, let's see what else we can find. Pioneer Wholesale, I've shopped with them before. They are a distributor. They are not a manufacturer, and they are located in Atlanta. So you guys can definitely visit their showroom. You can sign up for their email list. I unsubscribed for it just because they don't really fit the style of what I'm going for my current launch. So you guys can definitely sign up for their email list, and they'll send you a text every time they go through and update new inventory. And that vendor is called Pioneer Apparel Wholesale. So make sure you guys go ahead and check them out. But yes, that is definitely a great way that you guys can go through and find wholesale vendors, is to just go on Instagram and use some of those keywords, right? And that is a great way that you guys can find vendors. Another way is to go on Fashion Go's Instagram page. This is my secret as to how to find vendors as well. So if I go on Fashion Go's Instagram page, the only thing that they're posting for the most part is their wholesalers and their vendors that they offer on their site. So if I click this right here, I know that the name, okay, this might be a boutique shout out, right? Let's see, Mount Moriah. This is a boutique shout out. So kudos to her for getting a placement with Fashion Go. That's pretty good. So you guys can definitely go through on Fashion Go, go through their followers. And usually for the most part, they are following the people who they have on their platform. So usually they follow their wholesalers. So you guys can definitely go through here and see some of the different wholesalers that are available on the Fashion Go page and see what vendors that they are following. So definitely do it that way as well. Another way that you guys can definitely go about finding vendors as well is to go on your favorite boutique's Instagram page and go through their followers. See some of the people that they are following. Usually boutique owners follow their vendors if they can. So definitely go through their followers. It is kind of being snoopy a little bit, but I find it really beneficial sometimes. So alrighty, let's go through. So Alibaba is scary. I would definitely say Alibaba is scary. If y'all think Alibaba is scary, give me some clap, some thumbs up. If y'all think some hearts, Alibaba is definitely a scary place when it comes to finding vendors, right? It is super tricky to find credible vendors on Alibaba. You need to read the reviews. You need to review the vendor ratings. You need to make sure that every vendor picture includes some type of photo. So make sure you guys go through and do that as well. Make sure you guys are communicating with the vendor. Ask the vendor for photos, ask the vendor for additional videos of their products. That's one thing that I always do. Do not be afraid to annoy these vendors. At the end of the day, they want money just like we do. Just like we have to provide customer service to our audience, vendors have to provide customer service to us. So do not be afraid to contact these vendors and say, hey, can I jump on FaceTime with you? Can I get some additional photos of this product? Can I get some additional videos of this product? Can you hold this product up and stretch it so that way I can see how this product is, right? I got a comment that said they take forever also to send the items was a mistake I made. Thanks for sharing because they are number one on my list. So yeah, Alibaba can definitely be really, really scary place when it comes to finding vendors. But I promise you, once you do your research and once you cross all your T's, dot all your I's, I promise you, you will find some really great vendors on Alibaba. So some of the vendors that I've shopped with on Alibaba have really, really, really good inventory and really good pieces of merchandise where sometimes I'll reach for them before I even reach for some of my US based vendors, right? So a lot of those vendors are definitely going to be really, really trustworthy. You just have to make sure you go through and shop with them the correct way and make sure you go through and ask any questions that you need to ask. So pro tip, always price your inventory before you complete your purchase, y'all. This is essential. Make sure you go through and you price out your inventory before you complete your purchase. Can you afford these items? Does the cost of this inventory fit within your target audience income range? Can your audience even afford this piece of merchandise, right? So if you buy a shirt from one of your vendors and it's $40, and it's $20, and you have to mark that up times 50, you have to mark that up 50%, then that means that t-shirt is going to actually be $40. So $40 for a t-shirt, that's kind of insane, right? So you need to make sure that your audience can afford this piece of inventory before you go through and price it. So does the purchase make sense for your business? That is super important to know as well. According to your profit margin, will you be able to profit off of this inventory according to your profit margin? So that is something definitely important to note as well. So after you finish looking for inventory, you need to create an inventory wish list. File away items for later. I promise y'all that makes it so much easier. Literally on Fashion Go, on LA Showroom, on Alibaba, I have a cart full of items, right? So make sure you guys go through and save those items for later. You can't purchase everything you like when you first launch. Even when you are in the midst of launching or even in the midst of having your boutique, you can't go through and shop with everything that you want. It's just impossible. You need to make sure you do process of elimination. Decide which vendors and merchandise are a good fit for your business. Not every vendor is going to be a good fit for your business. So you need to figure out, which vendors are right for you and which vendors aren't. Begin purchasing inventory. So complete the checkout process. Go through, purchase your inventory, make sure everything's good as far as shipping costs and all that good stuff. Make sure you guys are also building relationships with your vendors. Communicate with your vendors. So after you go through and you get your inventory, follow up with them and say, hey, I really appreciate your service, or hey, I had a problem with this. Go through and tell them something that they can, change about their pieces of inventory. Give them constructive feedback, give them constructive criticism to make sure that they are good to go. And you are building that strong relationship with your vendors as well. So that is pretty much the entire presentation of how to find vendors. I hope that this was helpful, but I did want to go through and share some of my services and upcoming events with you guys. So I do offer 101 coaching, and then we do have Wind Down Wednesday coming up this Wednesday. So make sure you guys go ahead and book a coaching session with me. March coaching sessions are filling up very, very fast. I think we only have like 2 or 3 left. So if you are interested in booking a one-on-one coaching session with me, go through and do that so I can take a deeper dive into your business. And then Wind Down Wednesday. So Wind Down Wednesday is basically going to be giving aspiring and existing entrepreneurs the opportunity to learn from their peers. However, this coming Wednesday, we will not have a guest, since this will be the first one we're doing. It's just going to be me hopping on live, answering any questions. So basically, it is going to be a live Q&A on Wednesday. So make sure you guys go ahead and mark your calendars for Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be live on this page answering any questions that you guys have. And then it will be every other Wednesday. So the third Wednesday of the month, we will have a special guest on live, just going through and showcasing some of their different talents, whether it be entrepreneur skills or different things like that. So make sure you guys go through and tune into the live. So thank you so much. We are going to open the floor for a live Q&A. If you guys have any questions about vendors and inventory only, those are the questions that I'm going to be answering during this live. And then if you guys have any additional questions, save those for Wednesday. I'm going to be going live as well on Instagram on Wednesday. So if you guys have any questions about vendors and inventory, go through and let me know. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I am back. And we are going to go through and answer some questions. All right. So Sharon Lindsay asked, who are the most trusted international vendors in the UK, etc.? I can't really name the vendors off the top of my head like that. But some of the vendors that I've shopped with internationally will be probably my Alibaba vendors. And I also will be coming out with a vendor list with all of my Alibaba vendors on it very, very soon. So make sure you guys go ahead and stay tuned for that. But I can't think of any off the top of my head. Sharon also asks, where can we get custom packaging? So custom packaging, you guys can reach out to a third-party custom packaging wholesaler, and they'll be more than likely able to get you that piece of custom packaging. You guys can also check out Sticker Mule. They do custom packaging. Also, you guys can check out No Issue. They have packaging as well. I don't believe it's custom though. Sharon said, I am just starting my online business. My weight for my package will be below 1 pound all the time. Which shipping is the best? So feel free to ask this question on Wednesday. I just want to answer questions about inventory right now. But the best shipping that I've seen cost efficient wise is USPS. Unfortunately, they are the worst as well. So definitely go through and just do your research to see which shipping company is going to be best for you. How much inventory should a new business owner start with? Great question. I answered this question in my YouTube video as well. So make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. But I always recommend starting out with no less than 5 pieces of inventory and no more than 10. And the reason I say that is because when you start off with 5 pieces of inventory, you can offer a kind of wide range of inventory in a way, but not really. So I always recommend starting off with a variety of pieces. So you want to start off with a jumpsuit, a dress, a 2-piece set, a top, and a bottom if you are going to be starting off with 5 pieces. If you're going to be starting off with 10, you can do multiples, right? So it's important that you guys go through and know that, so that way you're able to collect that free data that we love. So if you notice launch day comes, all of your dresses sell out and all of your 2-piece sets sell out, then that's indication allowing you to know, okay, I need to go ahead and restock these dresses, and I need to restock these 2-piece sets because these are items that my customers love. So it is super important that you guys go through and start off with a wide range of different items, so that way you can get that free data and it'll allow you to know which items are doing best and which items your customers actually like. Anonymous attendee said, when should taxes be paid if I have an LLC and resale permit, but business doesn't launch until August. Should I start now or in August? You want to start paying your taxes now so that way you don't get behind, and you want to make sure that you go through and not have to pay any late fees or anything like that. So definitely start paying your taxes now. Even though you haven't launched yet and you have your resale certificate and you haven't made any money, you still have to file your taxes and just tell them you haven't made any money. Basically, you're basically just going through and you're filing without having anything on it. Someone asked, are you recording this? Can I go back and watch it for later? I missed the first half. Yes. So this will be going on the Instagram, on my YouTube channel. So you guys will definitely be able to rewatch this. Ashley asked, how would you know if the vendor has good quality? Do you check the reviews or get samples first? That is tricky. It is very tricky to know if you are going to be getting good quality merchandise or not. And I would say the first way to go about doing that is to know where you are shopping. So you need to know if you are shopping for the most part on Fashion Go, then they are going to be pretty decent vendors because they have to go through the Fashion Go system, the Fashion Go checklist. They have to be approved by Fashion Go in order to be a vendor on their platform. So usually those vendors are going to be the most credible. Whereas if you are going to be shopping on Alibaba, or if you do find some third-party vendors who aren't located on Fashion Go or any of those larger marketplaces, it is going to be tricky. So you can read the reviews, you can ask for samples and all of that good stuff. But I will tell y'all, when it comes to ordering samples, it is tedious. And the reason I say that is because when you order a sample from Alibaba, right, the shipping is already high. So you can order a sample that could be $8 and then go through and pay $40 for shipping for an $8 dress that you just want a sample of. So now you just spent $48 trying to sample one piece of clothing. So it is difficult when it comes to sampling, but I will say that if you are really, really, that interested in really knowing whether that piece of inventory is going to be good quality or not, I will suggest doing samples. I've never purchased a sample before just because I've always did my research enough to be able to know that that vendor was good quality. So it really is just up to you. But I would just do my research as much as possible first to even see if ordering samples is worth it. What is one of the vendors you use on Alibaba? Let me see if I can find the name. I will give y'all the tea on one of the vendors I use. I'm not gonna be able to pronounce it because y'all know it'd be like in Chinese and stuff. But I'm going to try to find this vendor. My computer is so slow today. Let's see. I got some questions on Instagram too. So I'm gonna go on Instagram and answer some questions too as well. Alrighty. So orders, go to orders so I can show y'all the name of this vendor. I'm just gonna put it on my screen and then I'll type it down here, the name of the vendor that I'm talking about. Okay. So the vendor's name is Examen Channel Trading Co. Ltd. And I'm just gonna copy that and I'm gonna put it in the chat. That is the name of the vendor right there. And then I'm gonna also put it down here in the chat as well on Instagram. That is the name of the vendor that I shop with most frequently on Alibaba. Never had any issues with them. Their customer service is always fantastic. All of their pieces are really good quality and they're cheap. So it can't be any of that, right? So definitely go through and all of that good stuff. Someone said the Zoom still starts at 7. It started at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we are not wrapping up soon because I want to spend a lot of time answering you guys' questions since I couldn't during the other day on the live Q&A. So yeah, that is the name of that vendor. So Priscilla asks, what would you say is the best way to market your website before or after your launch? Save this question for me for Wednesday. We are only answering questions about vendors and inventory right now. Do you know about Fashion TD? If so, what is your opinion on them? I've been getting this question a lot lately, and I've never heard of this vendor, and I've never done research on them. So I'm gonna just put them right here into Google, and we are going to see what comes up for them. I've never heard of this vendor, y'all, but I literally keep getting this question all the time. It's not coming up for me. Maybe I spelled it wrong. Oh, I see it. Fashion TD. Okay. I feel like it's kind of giving me Wholesale 7, Lovely Wholesale vibes. So I'm going to say that it is probably going to be similar to a Lovely Wholesale 7. And that is the vibe that it is giving me. And that doesn't mean that it's not credible, because I've gotten really good pieces off of Wholesale 7 and Lovely Wholesale. So it really just depends on you doing your research and seeing if those vendors are actually going to be good quality or not. Okay, so I am going to hop right over to Instagram, and we're going to answer some questions on Instagram. And then I'm just going to go back and forth probably. Are you going to save this live? Yes, this live will be saved on my YouTube channel. I'm not exactly sure when. It really just depends on how long it takes to download. So yeah. I got a question from the real Sage Stevens, and it says, should you buy in the beginning 2 of each style and size? So I always recommend ordering 1 pack, right? Somebody also asked about quantity here on the Zoom. So I always recommend buying 1 pack, right? So you are going to buy 1 pack of inventory. So usually 1 pack for vendors are usually going to be 2, 2, 2. So that means they are going to be 2 small, 2 medium, 2 large. So those are usually going to be the sizes that you guys definitely want to start off with. I do not recommend starting off with more than 1 pack, because it is going to be really difficult for you to sell that piece of inventory if it is something that your audience does not like. So always only buy 1 pack. Let me jump over here. Let's see. Oh, I got a lot of questions on the Zoom. How do you find vendors on WhatsApp? You do not find vendors on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is used as a communication type of platform, really. So WhatsApp is basically going to be like a texting app that people use overseas to communicate with us here in the US. So that is what WhatsApp is used for. It is not like a search base. It's not a social media or anything like that. It is strictly just a communication type of platform. Someone on Instagram asked, how do you know your target audience if you're just starting? So when you are just starting, you are going to create what I call is a consumer persona. You are basically making up an entire target audience yourself. And then you are using that made up audience, you're marketing to those people to see if those people are the people that are engaging with your audience. And then you're able to kind of make edits to your audience according to that. So if you notice that you want to market towards plus size women who are African American, mid-age, married women, right? So you know that that's your target audience. And you notice that those are the people completely different than what you are getting on your that is completely different than your actual audience, right? And that means you need to make edits to your target audience so that way you can go through and you can market to the people who are actually shopping with you. So that is how you go through and find your target audience, is you completely make up an audience, market towards those people, and make edits along the way. Next question I got is XJ Boost vendor, a US or UK vendor? I've never heard of XJ Boost. Y'all is really giving me some vendors I've never heard of. Never heard of them before. I just did a quick Google search and I'm not finding anything. So that probably means that they're going to be located on a marketplace. So if you guys do Google searches and you can't find the vendor, that means that vendor is going to be located on a marketplace, and that is why you can't find them, or they are a hidden vendor. So you can't find them that way. So I've never heard of them, no. Someone on here said, do you need your LLC if you are just starting your business? So in order to shop with vendors, you are going to need your resale certificate and your EIN number. I would just go ahead and get rid of both of those out of the way, just so that way you don't have to worry about it. Ashley asks, when do you usually contact the Alibaba vendor due to the time zone? So that is a really good question. Thank you for asking that. So if you guys are going to be communicating with vendors who live overseas, you need to be staying up to the wee hours of the morning. So right now it is 7:54 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which means that over in China, it is 7:54 a.m. So it is important that you guys go through and stay up in the middle of the night if you do want to have that back and forth communication with your vendors. If not, you're going to communicate with them during the daytime, your time, And then by the time they see it, it's going to be night. And then it's going to be an ongoing conversation for days where you guys can just stay up, you know, in the wee hours of the morning and build that communication with them while it's still early in the daytime for them. So that is a really good question. It really just depends on your time zone. So I would check your time zone to see when the best time of the day is. But usually around 12 o'clock noon their time is going to be a really good time for you guys to communicate with them, because usually that's when they're all, you know, at work and all that good stuff. So definitely do that. A question I got on Instagram is, I live in Georgia. I was told I don't need a resale certificate. Do you think I should still apply for one? Yes, definitely. Definitely still get one for sure. Hopping back over here in the Zoom chat. A question I got from Ebony Williams is, what is a good cost of shipping from a vendor? If shipping from a vendor is too high, is that a bad sign? No, that is not a bad sign. However, it can be. Let me go ahead and rephrase that. So a good cost of shipping from a vendor, it depends on a variety of different things. So if you are ordering items that are heavy, your shipping is going to be higher, because the heavier that piece of inventory, the more the shipping cost is going to be. You have to keep that in mind, right? Depends on where that item is coming from and where that item is going to. So usually if you are ordering inventory from China, that inventory shipping cost is going to be a lot higher, right? So that is something also important for you to know. Another thing that is important for you to know is where the item is, what shipping provider that company is going to be using. So if they are going to be using DHgate, or if they are going to be using not DHgate, I can't think of the name of the, what is the name of the shipping provider? I can't think of the name right now, but it's overseas shipping provider that you guys can go through and use. Usually that is going to be super high. So it really depends on a variety of different things. So if shipping is from a vendor is too high, is that a bad sign? No, it's not a bad sign, but it can be. I've seen several scams and schemes around the last couple months where vendors are putting whole weights of paper inside of packages to make it heavier, so that way they then can charge you a lot more. They can make a profit off of your shipping, which is insane. But I've definitely seen that. So it isn't a bad sign, but it is definitely something I would take with a grain of salt. And if you are already skeptical about that vendor and the vendor shipping is just way too outrageous, I would not shop with that vendor. Just because then after that, it's like, well, should I shop with them? Should I not? So definitely take that into consideration. How do you find vendors with high quality clothing like House of CB and Misguided? You guys can find some of those same vendors that they use on Fashion Go. You really can. However, they do manufacture a lot of their own products. So a lot of those products that you see on House of CB and Misguided are going to be custom strictly for, you know, that business. So it is super important that you guys take that into consideration as well. So that way, you know that some vendors you aren't going to be able to find based off of some of the other clothing boutiques out there. Next question I got. Thank you, Lisa. She said, you are awesome. Thank you. Next question I got is, what is the difference between margin and markup when you're trying to price your inventory? So your profit margin is going to be the margin in which you want to make a profit, right? So me, for example, my profit margin is in between 52 and 72%. So I know that when I get a piece of inventory, I have to mark it up by 52%, and the highest that I can mark it up to is 72%. So you want to have a clear indication as to what your profit, DHL, thank y'all for clarifying. DHL is what I meant to say. But yeah, so your profit margin is going to be the margin in which you want to go through and make a profit. So it is important to know what your profit margin is going to be, so that way you can figure that out before you go through and purchase that piece of inventory, to see if it makes sense profit-wise, if you're going to even be able to make a good profit off of that piece of inventory. So make sure you guys do that. And then markup is going to be the amount in which you mark up your item. So that can be over a duration of time, or it can be instantly when you get that piece of merchandise. So those are all the questions that I got on Zoom. I got another question on Instagram. It says, when shopping on Alibaba, do you buy a sample piece or get 2 items for the same price? I know it varies, but I have been doing both depending on the price. On Alibaba, you can go through and purchase a sample piece, or you can go through and purchase pieces, you know, individually. So one thing I do like about Alibaba is the fact that I can choose how many pieces of inventory per size that I can get. So if I go on Alibaba and I want to get 5 smalls, 2 mediums, 5 large, and 1 extra large, I can go through and do that on Alibaba. Whereas where I'm shopping with some of the different vendors on Fashion Go, I can't go through and do that. So it really just depends. I wouldn't order any of the sample pieces. I would always order the pieces that they have directly on their site. But if you do want to go through and get some samples, definitely go through and do that. I got a question that said, would you recommend not buying on Fashion Go if they don't have sizes small through extra large? It's so hard finding vendors with extra large. And indeed, it is definitely hard finding vendors that sell extra large. One of the vendors I recommend that do sell extra large is going to be Zanana. They do offer like loungewear pieces, but that's just one vendor that I can think of right now off the top of my head that does sell extra large. But yes, a lot of vendors do not sell small, medium, large, and extra large. It's usually just going to be small through large. And then when you guys get into the plus size, it's usually just going to be 1X, 2X, 3X. So that is important to note. And unfortunately, I don't know why they do that. A question I got on Instagram is, what is the correct Instagram name for Fashion Go? I'm going to put it here in the chat. And it's just Fashion and then Go. And then let me go back to where I was. Okay. I got a question that says, when looking for vendors on Alibaba, what are the main things you look for on the vendor store? Reviews, rankings, the amount of sales they made, the amount of time that they've been in business. Yes, literally you literally answered your own question. That is literally everything I go through and I look for. I also look for different types of content as well. So I want to see their models in different poses. I want to see their models. I want to see different models if they have them. I want to see up close images of that piece of inventory so that way I can see what the fabric looks like, if it's a good piece of fabric or not. But definitely the number one thing that you guys need to be looking for when it comes to shopping for these vendors is it has nothing to do with the amount of time that these vendors have been in business. So a lot of these vendors could have been manufacturers for years and they just got into this platform, or they just started marketing themselves as a business that provides X, Y, and Z. But the number one thing that you guys need to be looking for is reviews. Reviews will tell you right or wrong whether or not this piece of inventory is going to be good. Also, someone just said in here as well, look at the vendor images and look at their descriptions as well. So the more detailed a vendor is, the better. So if a vendor is super detailed, that means that they care about their inventory. They care about getting their message across with that piece of inventory to make sure that they're conveying the message to their audience. So that is super important that you guys go through and do that as well. But the amount of time has nothing to do with it. Reviews, rankings, definitely. And the amount of sales, give or take, could definitely be important as well. Someone said, I saw videos on what to look at when it comes to Alibaba. Look at their response rates. Yep. So your response rates is going to be the rate at which a vendor responds. So if a vendor is responding to their customers all the time, then that means they have really good customer service. And in turn, that usually means that they have pretty good pieces of merchandise. So definitely do that. What do you think of drop shipping? Have you ever done it? I love this question. And I don't know why I got super excited, but y'all, I want to give y'all the tea. That's actually a video I'm going to be doing soon. Do not do drop shipping. I'm going to say it and I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it to Zoom and I'm going to say it to Instagram. Do not do drop shipping. And the reason I say do not do drop shipping is because you have no control over your inventory. You have no control over it at all. So basically drop shipping is you are giving your inventory to a third party who is then shipping your pieces of inventory out to your audience and to your customers. And the reason I say do not do drop shipping is you have no control over that inventory, right? So what if your drop shipper gets sick, right? Your drop shipper gets sick, how is your inventory going to get shipped to your customers? You get sick, how is your inventory going to be shipped to your customers? But at least it's in your hands. Something happens to your inventory at the drop shipping location, what are you going to do? So many different things to take into consideration. You're not able to add that personalized touch to your inventory when it goes out to your customers. So one thing I always love to do is I always do a handwritten note to all of my customers when they go through and purchase my inventory. So I might even just sign it, or I might put a heart on it. It's going to be some type of personalized touch in my inventory. And you cannot do that when you have drop shipping. You can't add that personalized touch when you go ahead and get your inventory and ship it to your customers. Another thing that you can't do is you can't go through and see if your inventory is in good condition. So if I'm ordering inventory from my vendor and instead of shipping it to me directly, I'm shipping it to my drop shipper. So I can't do quality control, which means that I can't go through my pieces of inventory. I can't stretch it to make sure it don't got no holes in it, make sure you don't got no loose threads, make sure all of my inventory is nice and seamless before I ship it to my customers. When you do drop shipping, you cannot do that. You are shipping your inventory directly to your drop shipper, and your drop shipper is packaging it up and sending it up to the customer. They are not going to be doing no quality control or any of that good stuff. And if they do, point me into the direction, because I've never seen a drop shipper go through and do any quality control, add any personalized touches or nothing. So make sure you guys go through and realize that drop shipping can be very beneficial. It sounds great. I don't have to ship orders. Shipping orders to me is literally the most tedious thing, and it is definitely something that I don't like to do. So I definitely don't recommend drop shipping, but if you can find somebody who allows you to add that personal touch, they do quality control and all that good stuff, by any means, go ahead and go for it. But it's also an unnecessary expense. And also when you're shipping out your orders, it just kind of makes you a little bit more humble as well, because it's like, wow, I'm getting all these orders, I'm shipping it, I'm putting my time into it, I'm putting my love into it, I'm putting my passion into it. And it just makes you feel good overall as a business owner when you're seeing those consistent orders come in. So definitely, I don't recommend drop shipping, but yeah. So a question that I got up here from Zoom is, would you, or do you think it looks bad only having certain pieces going up to large, having different pieces for regular sizing versus plus size? I feel like it doesn't make us look as professional if we don't offer consistent items in all sizes. I would say give or take. If you can't find those sizes, don't push the issue, but just do your research. That means you need to do extended research in order to find those items if you aren't finding items to complement your audience, right? So right here you put, do you think it looks bad only having certain sizes go up to a large, or certain styles, right? I would say it doesn't look bad. It does make your brand look a little bit inconsistent though. So I would try my best to just go through and find vendors who offer those sizes. And in return, you might have to only offer regular sizes in certain styles and offer plus sizes in certain styles. So it really just depends. But I get what you're saying. It can definitely give off inconsistent for sure. Another question I got is, when you pick your items being shipped, is it best to put them in clear poly mailers if they don't come in from the vendors? Yes. A lot of vendors will go through and put your items, just throw them in a box, fold them up, put them in a box, and not individually separate them in clear poly mailers. And those are very, very important, because once you go through and you ship your items out, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes in some of these warehouses, at some of these post offices and things like that. So literally your items can get completely wet, but if it's in that clear, I think it's called a cellophane bag or something like that, it will go through and make sure that that item is protected for your customer, and that saves you on your end having to do returns and all that good stuff. So definitely keep that in mind. How do you know if the clothing that they have is true to US sizing, or if they run size? Always ask the vendor for their size chart, always, and you'll be able to see. Someone also asked, which material for clothing do you feel is more durable and usually has the best quality? So anything that has cotton spandex mix is usually going to be a pretty good material. Anything that is polyester is going to be not good. Just because polyester can kind of be really, really cheap looking sometimes. So definitely keep that in mind. What is best, AliExpress or Alibaba? Alibaba is going to be more so better for boutique owners, and then AliExpress is good for just individual leisure shopping. So AliExpress definitely if you're looking for wholesale. Hey sis, thanks for the jewels as always. Thank you for tuning in. I need hood vendors for plus size. What is the best advice on how to find them? So I'm assuming you mean like hoodies. Type in those keywords. So the same traits and tips and tricks that I gave you during this process, during the webinar earlier, go through and use those same tips and tricks. So use those key phrases, those key search terms, so you can take those into Google, into Instagram, and all of that good stuff as well. Someone asks, would you recommend packaging in boxes for clothing or only poly mailers? I would recommend poly mailers, because once you package it in boxes, the shipping price is going to be crazy, because obviously boxes weigh more than poly mailers. So I would use poly mailers, but of course you can't use poly mailers if you have a huge order. You are going to have to go ahead and use boxes. But if I have anything that's less than like 4 or 5 items, I'm going to more than likely ship it in a large poly mailer. And if I have someone who orders maybe 5 and up items, I'm probably going to ship it in a box because obviously poly mailers can't hold all that weight. How do you feel about private labeling? So I'm actually going the process of going through and doing a video on this soon as well, going through and changing vendor tags. So that is definitely a question I get all the time. So I feel as if it is unnecessary. And that's just me. So the reason I feel like changing your tags in your clothing is unnecessary is because, let me give you guys a good example. So if you go into Marshalls, right? Or if you go into Ross, or if you go into TJ Maxx, or any of those bigger, what would I call those? Affordable retailers, right? They do not have the name changed on any of those pieces, right? You can't go into TJ Maxx and see t-shirts with TJ Maxx in the label. No. And the reason that they do that is because they are buying directly from a distributor or from a manufacturer, just like we are. And the reason I don't change it is because it's such an unnecessary expense when you are first starting out. I would not, that would be the last thing that I do for my business is changing the tags. Literally the last thing. And the reason I say that is because you have to also pay for the labor. You have to pay per piece that they're going through and changing the label on that. And that's just such an unnecessary expense when I can incorporate so many different other types of branding into my business. And that can just be like the last thing. However, I am going to go ahead and change the tags on my pieces of inventory once I go through and I start manufacturing my pieces. So if I manufacture this jacket and I design this jacket, the inside of the tag is going to have my branding name on it. So then at that point, in order to make my brand cohesive, I will go through and change the tags off of everything. But just starting out, that would be the last thing I worry about. It's just such an unnecessary expense. And it's not something that your customers actually pay attention to. So how many times do you go into Ross or TJ Maxx? Do you look inside the tag to see? You don't pay that any attention. So it is same thing for your customers. It's a nice little added touch when it does have it on there, but it's definitely not something that is super necessary. A question I got on here on Instagram is, did you have to get a fictitious business name for your company? I was told that I have to get that. It depends on your state. Some states do make you get one and some states don't. So it really just depends state by state. What is another question? I need to book a one-on-one. I love your YouTube channel. Make sure you guys go ahead and book those coaching sessions. March is literally, I think I booked 2 sessions since being on this call. So make sure you guys go ahead and book for March. If not, book for April. April sessions are open right now as well. What do you think about Giddy Wholesale? I just actually talked about Giddy Wholesale earlier. So Giddy is a distributor, right? So they are not the manufacturer of their clothing. So they are going to be selling and marking up those prices on them inventory super, 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 super high. So you can get this jacket off of Giddy, this 2-piece set that I have on that is really, really popular on a lot of boutiques pages. That's going to cost you maybe probably like $15, maybe a piece. $15 a piece, and then you still have to go through and up that in order for you to make a profit. So Giddy is a distributor, which means that they are purchasing their pieces of inventory from a manufacturer, jacking up the prices and then selling it to us. And then we then have to jack up the prices in order for us to make a profit. So that's why I don't shop with Giddy, because their prices are way too high. And you guys can also find some of the different same manufacturers that Giddy uses. I know Good Time USA is one of the manufacturers that Giddy uses. So you guys can definitely shop with Good Time USA. What is another question? Thanks for answering my question, Monet. No problem. Thank you. I was thinking of doing drop shipping, y'all. Drop shipping? Somebody on here said, I did drop shipping before and it brought me nothing but bad reviews. Yep. Nope. We're not doing it. Thank you for answering my questions. It's this lady. I ordered a wig from Amazon for $19. Then I got it. The wig was nice. The packaging and gifts were nice. Okay, cool. Do you need a tag on clothing and hang tags? I was told that I don't need all those tags. What I usually do is I keep my vendor's tags on the clothing and then I just hang tag my own clothing myself. So I get business cards, print them out as hang tag cards, get me a hole puncher, get me a hang tag gun, go through and hang tag my own clothing myself, and then go through and ship that then to my customers. And the reason I do that is because I don't want to change the tags inside, but I want to add some type of branding. So that is my way of adding branding there. Another question I got is, do you try on the quality of all your inventory? Yes, I do try on all of my inventory, and the only reason I do is because I have to try it on in order to take pictures anyway. So while I'm doing that, that is definitely allowing me to get a feel as to how that piece of inventory fits. So that way I can also describe it better in my captions or any of my descriptions for my customers. So definitely. Question I got on Zoom is, what is a reasonable turnaround time frame from customers to receive an order? I always like to ship no more than 3 days. So I have a 3-day rule processing time, and that is 3 business days. So if a customer orders from me on Friday, can expect their order to go out on Wednesday. I'm not shipping nothing Saturday and Sunday just because I'm just not doing it. And that's just me, and that's just my policy. So it really just depends on how you want your policy to be. So it really just, like I said, it depends. But I always would recommend shipping out no more than 3 days. Have a 3-day processing, especially if you're smaller. It should be no reason why you're hanging on to someone's order for more than 3 days as a smaller business. So definitely do that. Ebony Williams asks, what size poly mailers and clear baggies do you recommend when you are starting out? So I have 3 different size poly mailers. I have the 10 by 13 inch, I have the 15 inch, and then I have the 19 inch. And the reason I recommend having multiple size poly mailers is because you need to have different sizes, right? So if I order just a 1 shirt, right, that means I could probably fit that into the 10 by 13 poly mailer. But if I have a customer who orders 3 or 4 things, I can't fit all of that into that one size poly mailer. So it's important to have different sizes because you don't know the amount of inventory that that person is going to go ahead and purchase. So you need to offer them different sizes as well. So definitely go through and do that. And then the clear baggies, make sure that the clear baggies fit within that size poly mailer. So you need the clear baggies to essentially be a little bit smaller than the actual poly mailer itself. So that way the clear baggie can then fit inside the poly mailer without any issues. Someone on Zoom asks, do you suggest selling accessories or is it not something worth it right away? I would recommend having some other sort of inventory. One thing I love to do is sunglasses. Sunglasses are really, really great. You can make a really good profit off of sunglasses. They're super cheap. I've gotten sunglasses for $1 before, sold them for $15. So it really just depends. So you can really make a really good profit off of sunglasses, and you can offer those as freebies too to increase any sales as well. On Instagram, so packaging means a lot. She got a good review. Yep. Someone asks, do you use software to keep track of inventory and invoices such as QuickBooks? Yes. So I use Google Sheets to keep track of all of my inventory and all of my invoices. So I use it that way. And then at the end of the month or the end of the quarter, I go through and tally it out. And the reason I do that is because I'm not super familiar with QuickBooks like that. I hear it's a good platform to use, but I'm not super familiar with it. The inventory that do you try on, do you keep it for yourself? This is a question I get all the time. I actually wanted to do a whole video on it because it is a question that is very, very common. So no. The answer is every piece of inventory I try on, I do not keep for myself. However, it depends on that piece of inventory. If it is, how can I give a good example? If it's a dress, I usually don't keep it. If it's a pair of jeans, sometimes I do keep those. Pants. If it's a bodysuit, something that's like all up in me, I'm keeping it, right? Because I want to make sure that I'm offering sanitary pieces, clean pieces for my customers. So it's the same thing as if you are going into a store. So I've heard this all the time, right? So if I'm going to a store, I'm going to a TJ Maxx or Marshalls or any other boutique, and I try on a dress and I buy it. I don't know how many people came into the store and tried on that dress 50 million times before I finally was the person to actually purchase it. Same thing with the pair of jeans, same thing with the bodysuit or a dress, right? You don't know how many people go into the store and actually try on that piece of inventory. You have no idea. So it's the same thing when you go through and you are trying on pieces and taking photos. Usually for me, I'm in an outfit for no more than 5 minutes. no more than 5 minutes. And 5 minutes is actually pushing it. Usually 2 minutes. It takes me 2 minutes to go through and get a good shot. Go through, try it on, click, 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 check to see if I like the photo. I like it. Cool. We on to the next piece and we're trying on the next piece of merchandise. So yes, you can go through and keep that piece of inventory yourself, but I don't keep every piece. I would keep it myself as well. If I'm sweating in it, if I'm hot, I'm sticky, I got makeup on it, all that good stuff, definitely keep that to yourself and definitely don't sell that to your customers. So yeah. Y'all is asking some good questions and I am still on here. I'm probably gonna sign off in the next 15 minutes. So yes. Next question is, sorry, I'm taking notes, but what did you say is the best, was best, AliExpress or Alibaba? AliExpress is good for personal shopping and Alibaba is good for wholesale shopping. So it depends on which one you're shopping for, but Alibaba is going to be good for those shopping for at wholesale. Another question I got is, do you sell the inventory you try on for pictures or do you keep it yourself? I lose out on that cash. Nope. I go through and I sell those same pieces, just making sure that it is still clean and sanitary. Another thing that you guys can do is go through and insert those scent proof cards in there into your orders. Go through and spray that piece of merchandise with some fabric spray to refreshen it and all that good stuff for sure. Someone asked, do you need a business license for an online clothing store? You do need some type of business legal documents, whether that be a resale certificate or EIN number. How do you ship hats? So when you are shipping hats, hats are really hard to ship. I thought about doing hats and then I realized how hard it is to ship a hat. So if someone orders a hat from your site and then they order clothing as well, that shipping cost is going to be insane because hats have to be in a box. You can't put hats in a poly mailer because it's going to scrunch up in the packaging. You have to go through and put it into a box. So shipping out hats is going to be difficult, especially if that customer then orders multiple different items as well. But there are hat boxes. I believe you can get those from Uline. They do have hat shipping boxes on there. Any good southern sunglass vendors? Go on Alibaba and type in sunglasses, read the reviews, and usually you'll find a really good sunglasses vendors on there. There are going to be pretty good quality as well. So sunglass vendors are actually pretty easy to find, and it's pretty good to find some really good ones on there as well. So Alibaba definitely for sunglass vendors. You can find them for really good, really cheap as well. Any manufacturer suggestions if you are wanting to start your own online clothing? Go on Fashion Go and just click on the fact that you only want to see manufacturers. And on there, you're going to find a bunch of really good, credible manufacturers. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now. As a new boutique, how can I reach a bigger audience and gain more followers? Go through and watch my video on how to get more sales, and that will get you some more insight. And then on Wednesday as well, tune in and re-ask this question. I'm only answering questions really about manufacturers and vendors as well. But that video would definitely be really, really helpful as to how to gain some more followers, gain sales, and all that good stuff. Someone asked, for low sales, would you use an ad budget or change up your merchandise? I would first, if I notice that I'm having low sales, I'm going to do neither of the two right there that you mentioned. If I notice that I'm having low sales, that means I need to retarget my audience a different way and make that piece of inventory more compelling. So that was what I would actually do first. I would reshoot that merchandise. I would remarket it. I would maybe even rename it. I would style it up a different way, take me some videos, up my content game, basically is what I'm saying. And then later on down the line, you guys can definitely use an ad budget or change up your merchandise, but I wouldn't actually change up my merchandise either until I sell what I have. So definitely push out what you have first and then go through and sell the additional pieces of inventory. How do you go about filing with no sales? You're basically just going to put 0 pretty much for everything down the line. But the way that you file really depends state by state as well. But for the most part, you are just going to go through and just put 0 for pretty much everything on there. Are there any vendors that you absolutely do not recommend on Fashion Go or on LA Showroom? Yes, there are. Let me see if I can find it for y'all. It's one vendor that I do not recommend shopping with on Fashion Go. And the name of it, I just cannot think of it right now. I am looking. What is the name of that vendor? I want to say it starts with the L or something. I cannot think of the name of that vendor, y'all, but there is one vendor on here that I do not recommend shopping with, and that is only because they are a distributor and they prices be crazy, y'all. I can't think of the name of it, but maybe I'll do a video on vendors I do not recommend, and then you can tune in then, and I'm pretty sure I'll find it by then. But that vendor, price is insane. Price is insane. Another question I got is, do you do invoice proof when you haven't, if you haven't started? No. What payment methods do you accept? I do the Shopify payments, and then I also do PayPal. So glad I found you. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Definitely gonna check it out. Thank you, no problem. What is price is best when you are buying a pack from a wholesaler versus a manufacturer? So the price per pack really depends on your budget. It depends on your audience's income, and it depends on if you can afford that piece of inventory. So if you're doing an affordable boutique, that means you cannot be purchasing inventory that is super high, because then you're going to have to upsell that piece of inventory according to your profit margin. And then if it's still too high, that means your audience can't afford it. And then in return, your audience can't buy anything that they can't afford, obviously. So it really just depends on what type of boutique you're going to be having, and it depends on your profit margin, and it also depends on your audience's income. So that's why it's important to know about your target audience, because if you know that your target audience has a lower income, or if they're middle class, then that means you can't be purchasing inventory that is super, super high, because then you have to go through and, double that piece of inventory, or however, depending on your profit margin, in order for you to go through and make a profit. So it really just depends on a lot of different factors. Y'all are too nice in these comments. Thank y'all so much. Let me hop up here on Zoom to see what everybody's asking up here. How do you spruce up your packaging in poly mailers? I feel like when they open the package, it may not feel as nice as to the original packaging it was in by the time it gets to them. So it is a lot of things that y'all can do to make your packaging super fun. So one thing I like to do is I like to put crinkle shred in mine. I put a business card. I have my hang tags on there. I put my thank you card in there. I put a scratch off in there. So I'm going to do some videos, so a video as to how to make your packaging a little bit more nice and appealing. So that way you guys can do that. Another thing you can do is put some stickers out on the poly mailer to make it, give it some branding. Put a free gift in there if you can. There's a lot of different things that you can do to make your packaging look a little bit more appealing. Is Alibaba one of those strict vendors that require a resale documents? Nope. You can go on Alibaba and shop with them with no resale certificate at all. What is a good percentage when giving out discounts so you don't lose out on too much? I always say 10%. When you're first starting out, give a discount of 10%. 20% is going to be like, ooh, okay, that's a good little discount, So 10% when you're just starting out as kind of like marketing and promotional discount. And then 20% maybe if you're doing like a special promotion, or if you're doing like a holiday or anything like that, is when I would do 20% or maybe higher. Do you recommend using vendor photos for websites, or should you take your own photos of your own products? Do not use vendor images, you guys. Vendor images is going to be the first way to not get any sales, y'all. Do not use vendor images. That is the first way to not get any sales at all. Literally, do not use vendor images. Vendor images scream uncredible. Vendor images scream scam. Vendor images scream fraud. So literally, if I go onto a site and I see vendor images, I'm thinking to myself, does she even have this piece of inventory in her possession to even ship it out to me? Your customers are a lot smarter than we think that they are. So those are literally the questions that are going on through our head. So that way, we can avoid, you know, making that mistake. So do not use vendor images, you guys. Do not. Someone asked, how long are your one-on-one coaching sessions? Would be enough to develop a good launch strategy. So yes, so my one-on-one coaching sessions are going to be an hour long. And then I dedicate all of my coaching sessions to exactly what you want to talk about. So I send you over a pre-questionnaire. Whatever you want to talk about is what we talk about during that coaching session. It's literally your time to pick my brain. So right here, y'all picking my brain right here, just asking some questions, and I'm giving y'all answers off the dome. But of course, if you book a coaching session with me, I can really, you know, give you guys, you know, step-by-step instructions and things pertaining to you and pertaining to your business. So that's why it's always great to book a coaching session with me, because I'm able to dedicate an entire hour to your business. And then I'm able to give you that good feedback that you definitely will need. I give you a step-by-step guideline and tips and tricks that'll help you along the way, and then a game plan for what to do after the call as well. So definitely book a coaching session with me, because that is going to be the best way to pick my brain and get all of the good insight. Let's see what some other questions I have on here. Someone said, I'm at a point where I'm looking for inventory. I have all of my legal documents, but when I go on Fashion Go, they ask for invoices from previous vendors. Where should I look as a beginner? So if you are on Fashion Go and they are asking you for previous invoices from vendors, I would definitely call them and tell them that you are a new business owner. Fashion Go is very, very understanding for newer boutique owners. So just give them a call and say, hey, I'm trying to get access to the platform, but I am a new boutique owner, which means I have no invoices, but I do have my legal documents. As long as you have at least an EIN number and a resale certificate, they are going to grant you access. So just give them a call. Usually they're very understanding. Where was I? I keep losing my place. Okay, somebody said, how do the hashtags work on Instagram when getting traffic to your business page? You have to use unique hashtags. So if you notice that a hashtag has over 500,000 uses, that means that is a hashtag that is going to be used repetitively. So that means that by the time your customer uses that hashtag, your post is going to be at the bottom, and everybody else's posts might be at the top. So I would not use hashtags that have a really, really high usage. I would use hashtags that have maybe under 100,000 posts on it. So that way I can make sure that my customers are able to see, or my potential members of my target audience are able to see my content. Will a video or course on setting up PayPal? I do not have any videos or courses on how to set up PayPal, but you can book a session with me. I'll answer any questions that you have. And then I'll also help you set up PayPal as well during that coaching session. Somebody asked, how do I get a coaching session with me? You guys can visit my website at www.herhustleacademy.com and book a coaching session with me. I am getting a bunch of coaching. I have a bunch of coaching sessions for the month of March. So make sure you guys go ahead and get your slot. I'm trying to make sure I spelled this right. Yep. So that is my website right there. So make sure you guys go through and book a coaching session that way. So I just pinned it on the chat. And then for those of y'all at Zoom, I'm not neglecting y'all, I promise. So that way y'all have that as well there. So another person asked a question. It says, it's hard to take sunglasses product photos of them being on the table without the reflection. LOL, I want some pictures of just the product without wearing them as well. So it really just depends on your angle. So if you're taking an overhead shot of sunglasses, you shouldn't be too much of a glare. You have to get that right position in order to get a good shot. But I completely agree with what you're saying. It is hard to get pictures of sunglasses without the actual glare and reflection. So it really just depends on the angle as well. What is another question on here? They asked for the same thing, but emailed them and told them that I was new on Fashion Go, approved me. See, yep. Fashion Go is usually pretty understanding. Somebody asked retail certificates versus a LLC. So your LLC is pretty much going to be your business title, your business trading pretty much for the most part. And then your resale certificate is going to grant you permission to shop with vendors and to shop with wholesalers. So that way you are able to get inventory non-taxed. So they are two completely different things, and you will need both of them. Right here, somebody said, I wanted to add you serving us a look, honey, loving the hair. Thank y'all. So details on this hair will be in my blog. So y'all will be able to shop with the hair company that sent me this unit. So you guys can definitely check out that vlog when it is up on my YouTube channel. But if y'all don't have any other questions or anything, I am going to go ahead and sign off. I was supposed to be off at 8:30. But of course, I love you guys, so I had to stay on later to give you guys some more insight. One last question. I think this is both the questions on the same platform. So somebody on Zoom asks, is it smart to get an LLC and resale license before doing anything? Yes. Go ahead and handle your legals before you do anything. So that way you are nice and covered and you don't have to worry about any issues. I'm gonna just say that. You don't have to worry about any issues. Make sure you are good and covered there. Yep, somebody asked the same thing here on Instagram as well. And it says, do you recommend getting your LLC to start? And yes, the answer is yes. So thank you guys so much for those who have tuned in for this live session. Those of you who turned in on Zoom, those of you guys who have tuned in on Instagram as well. Thank you guys so much. If you guys have any additional questions or anything, stay tuned for the Wind Down Wednesday. This Wednesday, I will be doing pretty much a more open Q&A as well. And then we'll probably be talking more so about an actual topic maybe. So those will be very, very fun. I'm excited about that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys are so sweet. I love you guys so much. Will you continue to doing coaching sessions even if I'm not open my boutique yet? Yes, that is the perfect time for you to book a coaching session with me, is when your boutique has not opened yet. So that way I'm able to give you the step-by-step instructions as to how to launch. So definitely book a session then, and stay tuned for some more classes and different things like that, because y'all, it is lit for March. I'm super excited to be helping you guys, giving you guys all of my expertise and different things like that. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys later. And this will be available on the replay on my YouTube channel, not sure when, because I have to go through and upload it and all that good stuff. So make sure you guys go through and check that out there. But thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys later.